Good evening. This is your PM video. This is Mr. Willie in West Virginia. This morning and this afternoon I kind of went off a little bit and I'm a little more calmed down, but I just want to share with you this evening. I want a lot of you to think, because I did a couple videos today, and I don't want anybody to think that that what I'm saying is you got to quit your job and work for the Lord, okay? Because you know what? We're all called to different things. Bible says that whatsoever you do, do it as unto the Lord. So whatever it is that you're doing, you very well could have been called by God to be there. I worked for many, many years in the gas industry, natural gas industry. And you know what? While I worked there, I worked for the Lord. I witnessed, I shared my faith, I prayed for people, and it was 23 years of ministry that was kind of incredible, because I got a chance to minister to a bunch of men and also minister to thousands of people that I probably would have never normally gotten into homes. But I had a gas company, a uniform on. A lot of times people would let me in to do work, and I'd get a chance to share my faith or pray with somebody or do something. So, you know what? You can be used wherever. But, you know, I think that there is a call on our lives when he says to follow him. And so wherever we end up, we need to be following. With that being said, that's enough of that particular video. I also kind of dealt with a little bit with the whole human trafficking. And tonight we had a situation with one of my children, with one of my grandchildren. She disappeared for a while. And she said she tried to call and nobody answered, and she was gone for several hours, and we were calling and frantically trying to figure out where she was at. I had my pastor praying, and my daughter's was in Pittsburgh, so she was kind of frantic. And she finally showed up, and it was all real innocent, but I got an opportunity to talk to one of my daughters and two of my granddaughters and explain to them, look, this is a different time than we've ever been living in ever before. And you have to be aware of where you're at. You have to be very cautious, and you have to be very vigilant in not being kind of ditzy and just kind of walking around not thinking about what you're doing, because there are wolves, there are vultures, there are demonic forces always around us trying to pull us out of the fold and knock us off. For them, they're very innocent, they're very young, and they're very, at times, they're just totally not aware of stuff. And I just kind of made all three of them a little more aware of what we deal with as parents, in that we're praying and we shouldn't be, but we're worrying and we're concerned about where they're at if we're not hearing from them. Because everybody has a cell phone these days, and so if they're not answering, which a lot of them don't, and a lot of times I know they're not, because they're maybe somewhere where they shouldn't be, and they don't want to have to tell a lie, so hey, don't answer the phone. I get it. But I kind of cautioned them and made sure that they know that they need to let us know where they're at all times. And I would encourage some of you parents out there to have this talk with your children. And it's not just for girls. I would talk to my children, if they were males too, and let them know that this is a very dangerous time. There are forces out there, and you know, the scriptures are very clear that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Those are the things that are influencing humankind here on planet Earth. So I would encourage you parents to be vigilant in your prayer for your children and for protection of your children, but also make sure that you're communicating with them and letting them know that they need to be in communication with you, okay? And that's going to be my video for this evening. I hope it blesses you, and if it does, pass it on to someone else so that they know too, okay? We need to be careful. We need to be aware, all right? We need to be very deliberate in the way we walk this life out, because the forces of evil are trying to knock us off, okay? But I know also that God came and he sent his son. His name was Jesus, and Jesus says, I came that you might have life and more abundantly, okay? So I speak life over you right now in the name of Jesus, okay? Shalom.